everyone, this is Eugene Roddenberry.
Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Adam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son.
This is Leonard Crowfoot.
This is Dr. Aaron McDonald, Star Trek Science Advisor and Lieutenant Commander McDonald on Star Trek Prodigy.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek.
Humanist Trek.
You're listening to Humanist Trek.
the Humanist Trek podcast.
And you're listening to Humanist Trek, a fabulous, fabulous show.
Enjoy.
And don't worry, you can do your Temporal Mechanics 101 homework later.
So he looks down at a panel and he thinks this is the manual override, and he taps some buttons. Then this light zaps out from that orb in the center to one of those diamond alcove things on the wall. What looks like a doorway to a beach appears. And then it transitions to another image, and he's like, okay, that was not the manual override.
Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Welcome aboard.
Jean-Luc Picard to the Starship Enterprise.
You want to review your rapid progress?
That nonsense is centuries behind us. To the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, yeah?
And it's enough, damn it!
Tempo, mon capitan.
To the Starship Enterprise.
But you can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Of the planet Earth.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Joel Antrue, and welcome to Humanist Trek. It's a comedy Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. I'm Sarah Ray.
And I'm Allie Ashmead.
And this week, Allie, we got some mail.
Oh.
It's actually really funny because this mail is about 8.4 months late.
Oh my gosh.
We got a Christmas gift.
Oh no. Oh my God.
Allie, answer the communicator.
Hello?
Warp to Captain. Incoming transmission. It is coded Priority 1.
Put it through, Mr. Wolf.
We got a Christmas gift from our dear patron and friend Stefan.
Oh, Stefan! Oh my gosh. Look, no offense. We don't read our mail.
Stefan was notoriously late in sending it, and I was notoriously late in getting to the post office to collect it. So it had a lot to do with both of us. But Stefan sent, along with this Christmas gift, a note. And I'll probably cut some of this out because it's really nerdy, but I think you'll enjoy it. So maybe not. We'll see.
Leave it in there.
Season's greetings.
Oh my God, it's August.
I hope you enjoy this year's ornament as much as I enjoyed making it, or more. This year there is an accelerometer, and some of the modes will react to how you hold it. You may have noticed the USB-C port this year. You can use this instead of a battery, but if you connect it to a computer, it will show up as a USB drive, and you can see and modify the source code.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see it. Let me see.
Okay, here you go. It's a snowflake. It's adorable.
Gosh.
And
Okay.
so then you flip the switch on here, and the little buttons here control different patterns.
And he made this.
Look at that.
That looks like a landing beacon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah. And then there's like a sparkle effect.
Yep,
right?
that's the one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can plug this thing into your USB-C into your computer and access the source code and change the patterns and like write a whole new program.
Oh my gosh.
And Stefan says, I wanted to make it as accessible as possible, so if you have any interest, I encourage you to try it out. No special tools are needed, and if you've never coded before, this would be a great way to try it. And then there's a GitHub link to his like instructions to figure out how to do it.
Okay. Well, I do Python all day, so that's cool. I can figure something out.
Okay, so on the back, this is the details for nerds. And
Okay.
so you're going to love this. This year, I used an RP2040 microcontroller running Circuit Python. I used Circuit Python specifically because it would allow you to edit the script on device. Python is nowhere near fast enough to drive the 8x6 LED matrix, So I wrote a custom CircuitPython module running a tight loop in the second ARM core,
Oh my God. Okay.
which is usually unused by CircuitPython. I learned that the second core's code needed to be loaded into RAM, not use XIP, or it would crash when I write to the flash. To create the board outline, I manually created 1/2 of one arm. Then I wrote a KiCad script to flip and rotate the lines and curves for rotational symmetry. I tweaked the original lines and reran the script until I was happy. The script also positioned the LEDs based on the first arm for easy symmetry. This year I used a 4-layer PCB. This seemed like a good idea for the green prototype run, but the white 4-layer PCB came out more expensive than I was expecting. Next year I'll be more careful about costs.
Oh my gosh.
Nearly everything was assembled for me. I only soldered the USB connector, power switch, and battery holder.
What? I'm getting a boner.
Look, right? I mean, holy shit! How?
Oh my
and
gosh.
there's one for me and one for you.
Oh, thank you so much. This is
Thank
great.
you, Stefan. This is so
Stefan.
cool.
I'm so sorry that we just now opened this. So I don't know the difference between just regular Python and CircuitPython, but now I'm going to find out.
You are, yep.
Because I work with Python a lot. But this is so interesting
awesome.
to me, and I'm going to I'm gonna fuck with the snowflake. See what I can do.
One thing I trust Stefan completely. I don't think at all that, if you were to plug this into your computer that it would transfer an Iconian virus or anything. So I think we're pretty safe.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you're, considering what you might do in the case of an Iconian virus, join us on Star Trek The Next Generation Season 2, Episode 11, Contagion.
Commander, you'll soon be getting an intruder alert.
What? I've got something, sir.
Intruder alert, sir.
It's an old-style starship, sir. Constellation class, heading this way under impulse comm.
Number 1, kindly take charge of our guests until we have time to decide what we're going to do with them. Sir, number 1, keep them out of my way.
Remember the USS Yamato?
Mm-hmm.
You say Yamato, I say Yamato.
Yep.
We've gotten ourselves a call from the sister ship of the D because its captain, Varley, made a 911 call to Picard for help. Only one problem. The Yamato is in the Romulan DMZ.
Straight out of Romulus.
Easy as its name and the boys coming.
Straight out of Romulus.
We haven't used that one in a while.
No, we haven't.
The ship is having some major malfunctions, and Picard is thinking maybe they can work together and eliminate the problems before they get caught by the Romulans in the neutral zone.
On the way, they've been downloading the Yamato's logs, and Riker asks about an odd reading they had. Not very specific, but Data thinks it may be related to the problems being experienced by the Yamato. And I didn't notice that for the red flag that it was when I watched this the first time through.
Me either. It was so just snuck in there under the radar.
Yeah. Now, knowing what we know, wouldn't you have run those log files through the Norton antivirus?
I would.
I'm putting my dollar on Happy 99 right now.
Happy 99. Oh, the Happy 99 virus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Haven't they learned their lesson?
Once in visual range, we get Captain Donald Varley on screen, and things are not going well over there. Panels are open, the lights won't stay on. He talks about losing 18 people when the computer just randomly shut down a force field in an open shuttle bay.
Like, holy fuck. Yeah.
But he has no idea what's causing this. Picard offers to evacuate any non-essential personnel, but Varley declines. Wouldn't the Yamato also have families and children on board?
Yeah, why wouldn't he take them up on it? But they've already lost people. Varley seems to think that it's a design flaw in the way that these Galaxy-class ships were created.
I don't know about that.
Enterprise is also, since it's their sister ship, it's also Galaxy-class. But he does admit he's grasping at straws because they just don't know. All they know is they need to get it fixed before they blow a bunch of people out of the airlock, so...
Well, it turns out the reason Varley is here in the first place is the Iconians. Now, I know the Iconians are featured heavily in Star Trek Online, But I would swear to you that I played a PC game in the late 90s, early 2000s or whatever that featured the Iconians. I've searched and come to the conclusion that I must be misremembering that.
I do not know. I never got to play the games.
At the very least, you should play Star Trek The Next Generation, A Final Unity. That was a great game.
One day when I have nothing to do, I would love to get back into gaming.
Me too. One day.
So Varley is chasing, trying to satisfy his curiosity and putting his entire ship in danger. He had heard a rumor about some archaeological digs that started to make the Iconians sound a lot less like legend and actual truth. So he found their homeworld after he did some digging, and it's located in the neutral zone.
Of course it is.
Off they go. And Picard does say this is quite a risk to satisfy some curiosity. But if there's some technology that Iconians had, they don't want the Romulans to get it. So this was sort of, one, to satisfy the curiosity, but two, to take away any edge that the Romulans might have.
The transmission starts breaking up, and Worf detects an energy buildup in Yamato's engineering.
Uh-oh.
The magnetic seals in the antimatter chamber are breaking down, but it's too late. The Yamato explodes, throwing pieces towards the D, including the whole saucer section, whose hull just looks like its skin burning away on the outside.
Really cool visual.
Yeah.
But that sucks. So they get to watch all those people die.
Mm-hmm. All those people. Data reports no life signs. And more bad news. Here come the Romulans.
Donald, what's a nice Starfleet captain like you doing in a place like this?
It's good to see you again, Jean-Luc. Despite your antique humor.
If I haven't said how much I love this Romulan ship design yet, my God, I love this ship. This is one of my favorite ship designs in Star Trek ever. I had the Playmates ship with the lights and sound, of course, back in the day.
Oh, Sarah.
Just an awesome design. It was so cool.
It's like a weird little half circle thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like its wings are like there's a space that you could fly through the ship, like between the wings.
Yep.
Anyway, Riker orders phasers armed. The Romulans arm all their weapons too. So Picard blows in a call, and we get Taurus, the Romulan sub-commander, on the screen.
Yay, woman captain. I mean, even if it's Romulan, it's good to see a woman captain.
Taurus is played by Carolyn Seymour, who goes on to play another Romulan in TNG. And she also plays a Malkorian woman in one of my favorite episodes of TNG, and a hollow character in Voyager.
Nice.
They play some Romulan chess about what are you doing in the DMZ? Well, I gotta ask you, what are you doing in the DMZ?
What are you doing? And they're like, well, did you blow up the Yamato? Because at this point they still don't know what happened. And she's like, trust me, if I had caused the destruction of the Yamato, she would have killed them too. So it wasn't her.
The rom-com demands Picard leave the DMZ, so Picard puts the call on hold and gets opinions around the bridge. Troy says she's extremely anxious, and Worf is quick to blame the Romulans for destroying the Yamato, but we don't have evidence of that yet. So Picard takes the call off hold and agrees to leave as soon as they've completed an investigation into the destruction of the Yamato. And as soon as Picard slams down the receiver, the Romulan ship cloaks. And Riker's like, well, at least they can't fire now. And Worf is really letting his bias influence him here. He's like, well, maybe they've advanced beyond that limitation, and now they can fire when cloaked. I mean, they were cloaked when they destroyed the Yamato.
Can you imagine without Picard and Riker and the rest of Starfleet stopping Worf from killing people? Do you know how many people he would just shoot first and ask later?
Yeah.
He always just wants to go for the kill. And he assumes, because they're Romulan, they're guilty. Yeah, like, can you imagine how many people he would have killed?
Yeah, thank goodness for Picard. Picard's like, guys, this is Star Trek. We follow the evidence, not whatever this conjecture bullshit is that Worf is doing. Get me the answers. So an hour later at the staff meeting, Geordi's got a PowerPoint up on the wall going over what the sensors show happened over there. The magnetic seals between the chambers collapsed, resulting in an uncontrolled and catastrophic matter-antimatter mix. Boom.
Remember that, because I literally put that in the
This is an unlikely but not impossible scenario, but several things would have to fail in the right order at the right time for something like this to happen. And he and Data technobabble about this. Essentially, there wasn't an attack. Whatever happened here was internal, not external. Maybe it is a design flaw after all. And being the same model of Starship, we'd better get looking into the D's systems.
Picard says, take anybody you need to work on this because, we don't want to blow up too. Troy, as voice of reason, she's like, well, since we kind of know that the Romulans didn't destroy the Yamato, shouldn't we withdraw from the neutral zone? Shouldn't we get the hell out of here?
Picard says no. In case what happened to them happens to us, we need to give Geordi time. Hard disagree here. Troy is right. Stay here and risk further Romulan escalation, or move a few light years that away and maybe accidentally blow up.
Right.
This is the wrong choice.
Agree.
Later, Picard pulls up Varley's personal logs, and he puts a search filter on to the words Romulan and Iconian. And so we get to listen to a series of logs here. The first one, Donald talks about this device that was found in an archaeological dig on Denius 3, which for some reason he was just allowed to take, which seems like not a thing that archaeologists would do, but okay.
Yeah.
Something technological, and he's convinced it's Iconian, but none of his engineers could figure it out, which he likens to a caveman looking at a tricorder, which I thought was fun. Just to give you an idea of how advanced these ancient aliens were.
Let's see what you did there.
The next entry explains that the artifact held some kind of star chart, which was gobbledygook until they accounted for 200 millennia of stellar drift. And then it was easy to find Iconia, right here in the DMZ.
The next entries, now people are starting to question his wisdom of coming into the neutral zone, but he's convinced that he's taken the right course because he doesn't want this advanced technology to fall into the hands of the Romulans. And then the next log, oh no, we've been spotted by a Romulan cruiser. Okay. And they play hide and seek. And then he goes on to the next one. They've been scanned by an Iconian probe, and were they trying to contact us? But they don't know what they're dealing with.
The final entry talks about how the Yamato's systems are going haywire, which prevented him from beaming an away team down to Iconia, or even scan the energy source on the surface. And he says, if Picard and his people can't repair the Yamato, I have to convince them to continue this exploration for the future well-being of the Federation. Picard's not one to pass up an archaeological mystery mission, so this should be fun. But when he goes to leave onto the bridge, the door doesn't open right away.
Yep. And I was like, uh-oh. That can't just be.
It wasn't just the dudes behind the wall not pulling the rope at the right time.
Exactly.
On the bridge, he heads up to the aft stations where Data is working and asks about the probe mentioned in the logs. And Data's got a VHS tape of this, and he puts it up on the main screen, but nobody really knows what it is. We check in with Geordi, who is verifying those systems that went sideways on the Yamato, and so far everything seems fine. So Picard decides they're going to take up the Yamato's mission and warp to the planet where this probe was found, which is like 12 hours away at warp 8, and puts them dangerously close to the Romulan side of the DMZ.
And Riker's like, we're going to do this and risk a war? But Picard, again, thinking kind of like Captain Varley, he's hoping to prevent a war.
Personal log. A galactic Rosetta Stone. The star fields on the artifact were unintelligible until I took into account 200 millennia of stellar drift. After that, it was easy to pinpoint Iconia.
Wesley comes to the ready room to chat with Picard because all this talk of Iconians has piqued his interest. He'd been told they were a myth.
Yeah, but she's my myth.
No, myth.
Yes?
And Picard's like, yeah, well, China was thought to be a myth until Marco Polo discovered it. Excuse me, Captain Picard, the people in China didn't think they were a myth. What a Eurocentric statement.
I know.
People thought China was a myth. Get the fuck out of here. Your people thought, say that. Say, my ancestors thought China was a myth. Say it that way. Anyway, sorry, I'm mad. I'm mad about it.
Yeah, you're right, though. You are absolutely right.
So one thing Wesley is here for is an audience info dump about what we know about the Iconians.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 systems in this sector that shared a number of cultural similarities, suggesting they were probably the same people inhabiting them and probably conquered. We learned that these were kind of, warlike colonizer type peoples.
Mm-hmm.
And their ancient text spoke of demons of air and darkness. Legend says they were able to travel without spaceships, just popping out of thin air on distant worlds.
Like magic.
But Picard reminds us that to Stone Age people, Star Trek people would appear magical. And that's one of those things that I think about a lot when we talk about what Bronze Age goat herders in the Middle East were thinking about the world at the time when biblical texts were written, and how much technology has changed since then, that if you were to go to one of those people with a computer or a cell phone, they would think you magical.
Exactly. I mean, who would ever know that we would have a handheld device, or let's say a tablet, a rock, that's what they had. They had a tablet of rock that I can call to someone on another side of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I can record things that have happened. I can take images of things and reproduce them. I mean, it's when I think of what they must think, it's mind-boggling. But then also their primitiveness drives how they write and how they see the world. And if everything is magic, then everything is a god, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah, but for sure, they are the holders of the one truth about the creator of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Tell us how you feel. What Wesley actually came there for was to talk about all the thousands of people that died on the Yamada, because it's really bothering him. He's like, I don't know how y'all deal with it and how you handle it so easily.
And Picard's like, well, that's our training. You'll get that training too. And he's about to tell Wesley that, when you stop being moved by the death of even one person, like, it's time to get out of the business. But during this, he orders up a tea Earl Grey hot for the very first time.
Yeah.
Finally. But instead of a teacup, the replicator dispenses a potted plant.
And they realize something's going wrong.
Yep. The shit happened on the Yamato is starting to happen here. Random system failures. Random for now, at least. And Geordi has ruled out this design flaw as a possible suspect. He thinks the alien probe has something to do with it, but he needs to see it to be sure. That's a terrible fucking idea, if I've ever heard of one.
That's the truth.
As for what's happening on the D, he can't really explain. Did y'all forget about the Happy 99 worm in the logs you downloaded? Come on, guys. Norton antivirus.
They have not put 2 and 2 together yet. They're still thinking it's a design flaw. But why? Okay, why is it all happening now? Think about it.
Yeah.
What the one thing that you took aboard your ship that wasn't there before is data. Not data, but data.
They arrive at a planet, and data scans show no life form readings. Worf adds that the destruction of the cities is consistent with large-scale orbital bombardment 200,000 years ago. They detect an energy source in some mountains, and on screen, there's this plus sign-looking shape cut into a crater, and we see a flash of light, and Worf reports an object matching the probe that scanned the Yamato, heading right for us.
And of course, Picard says, let's capture it. Because Geordi did say he'd need to see the probe.
Yeah, he wants to study it.
Yeah. So they put the shields up and they get ready to tractor beam it in, and then they call the Forge and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you out." But as he's telling him that, LaForge is like, "No, wait!" But they get cut off because of the malfunctions. But he's trying to tell them not to pull it in. You need to destroy it. But he can't call them now, so he's got to hightail it to the bridge to talk to them. And this was kind of funny, but not kind of scary.
Yeah, so the doors aren't opening. He's running down hallways, and finally he gets in a turbo lift. But this turbo lift goes like Mach speed, left, right, up, down, A, B, select, start. It's throwing Geordi all over the place.
First, I forgot that the turbo lift doesn't just go up and down.
Right.
I don't know why I forgot that. 2, you remember the ride on any like carnival? I forget what it's called. It's called
the Gravitron.
Gravitron. I've heard it called the time machine, where you spin and the centrifugal force sticks you to the wall, and then they drop the floor, and then you're just nothing's holding you down but the centrifugal force.
Yeah.
And that was Geordi.
Yesterday we went to the Adams County Fair up here in our county, and they had such a ride, and both of my kids rode it and multiple times and loved it. Awesome. And I was like, first of all, we got on this rocket ride thing that like spins real fucking fast and pushes you against each other, you know, as the force pushes you out. And then the arms go up and start like bouncing as you're spinning around. It was fucking awful. And I realized at 46, carnival rides are not for me anymore. They were not meant for people my age, and the kids can have it. We also rode a what's the one, the Himalayan that goes real fast in a circle too. It's like a track, like a train on a track kind of thing that goes real fast. Yeah, same thing. Becca got like a nasty bruise on her leg from being thrown around by this thing. Yeah. No.
I don't want to ride the ones at the carnivals because I don't trust them, because they have to put them up and take them down, and they're not like, you know what I mean? That something about that makes me never want to get on a carnival ride. It's usually rusty, and it's just no.
But as someone who used to work for big theme park and picked up bolts off the ground beneath them. Here's the thing. Every bolt and nut on that thing is touched every time they have to move it. It's being quote unquote inspected more often, I think, if it's being packed down and moved and set back up than stationary ones that like, yeah, they have annual maintenance checks or whatever, but like,
good point.
I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
Anyway,
I'm still not going on it. I do love roller coasters, but I don't know. Now I don't want to go on those now either at theme parks. Thanks, Sarah.
I'm here for you. So Geordi's getting thrown all around. It knocks the visor off of his face, and the turbo lift doors open, and Geordi comes rolling out of the, like cartwheeling down out of the turbo lift, down the ramp, visor in hand, and Riker rushes over to him, and he gets it out in time, destroy that probe, and Worf happily obliges, of course. He's been waiting to shoot something.
Yeah.
Geordi tells them if they had let it scan them, they never would have been able to save the D.
Legend has it that they traveled without the benefit of spaceships, merely appearing out of thin air on distant planets.
Sounds like magic.
Well, we would appear magical to Stone Age people.
Geordi reveals that, hey, this probe is basically transmitting a computer virus. And that's what is trying to rewrite the code for the Enterprise. 2 completely separate computer systems trying to interact. And that's what happened with the Yamato.
It's like trying to get a Mac and a PC to talk, but one's trying to give the other chlamydia.
Yeah, first of all, well, I guess you could have them both on a dual boot system, but they can't exist operating at the same time.
So it's a networked computer thing.
But Riker's like, but we weren't scanned, so why do we have it? And Data's like, well, we did download an unprotected file, which was the Yamato log. So because they weren't scanned by the probe, bringing in that log only affected one specific section of their mainframe, which I don't know that they've ever used the word mainframe.
No. Mm-mm. It's isolated to a sector on the disk or something.
For now, but it is trying to work its way out of that location. So they have a little bit more time maybe to figure out the problem.
Yeah, don't worry. We're going to blow up too. It's just going to take a little longer.
Right. We don't know where or when.
Geordi also explains that because about 90% of what happens with the computer is automated versus human interface, it's like sitting on a bomb that could go off at any second or maybe never.
Great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pulaski's trying to get everybody taken care of from a medical aspect, but she's not taking the turbo lift, so she's having her staff crawl through the tubes. Which, I mean, I guess is, makes sense. You can't risk the medical staff being thrown around and not being able to get there.
Speaking of Pulaski, shit is going sideways in sickbay. Biobeds aren't working, lights going off and on, and some medic can't get this device called the knitter to work.
Oh, that's the thing when someone breaks a bone. They scan them and it basically starts knitting their bones back together.
Is it the bone or the skin? Because I know there's something else. Anyway.
Both, because I've seen them do both, but it's the bone. Because apparently this dude's never heard of a splint, old school splint before.
I don't buy it.
Me either. I mean,
she's like, it's a very ancient concept, but it'll work. Come on. This is still day one medical school stuff, even in the future. Surely they're still teaching them splints. Yeah.
Because on a battlefield, you've got to, whatever. Anyway.
Geordi and Data are in engineering working on this software problem. And when Geordi tries to access the program directly, he gets jolted with electricity. And Data has to pull him away from the console. And if you didn't notice this, you got to go back because the yikes, that's gotta hurt look on Data's face was priceless. You were being distracted by whatever Geordi was doing over here, but Data had this look on his face that was very not Android-like.
And then he grabs him, and I think he knows he used a little bit too much force, and throws Geordi across the room. And then Geordi's like laying on the floor, kind of like talking with his face smushed on the floor. He's like, Data, what happened?
Data says anything would be speculation at this point. This is just another random result. And Geordi's like, thanks, Data. I noticed. In the ready room, Picard suggests to Riker that there may be some records on the Iconian planet near where the probe was launched. Maybe that could give us some answers. But if they can't understand this extremely sophisticated computer program that's infected the D, what makes them think they'll be able to understand anything on the planet?
Yeah. Still, Riker says, let's go down there. And Picard's like, okay, I'll lead it. And no, here we go again. Riker's like, we talked about this.
Riker loses yet another, I thought the captain wasn't beaming down every week argument.
Yeah, but because Picard just has to, he's been studying the Iconians and he has to be the one to go.
Here's a really stupid idea. Using the transporter to beam anywhere while the ship's programming is being re-encoded.
You could be transported inside of a rock for all you know.
Yeah.
How do you know that works when nothing else is working? But you got Miles O'Brien on the transporter controls, so yeah, you're all good.
So they beam down, and moments later on the bridge, they've got a Romulan vessel decloaking between them and the planet, and it's got its weapons hot, ready to fire. But the D can't get its shields up. When the Romulan ship fires, though, nothing happens. No torpedoes launched, no nothing. There was a great background moment here, though, if you were watching closely. Troy, sitting next to Riker, has reached out and grabbed his forearm for dear life while they think they're about to be exploded.
Oh, I will have to go back and watch like the details of that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, the Romulans' weapon system just disarmed instead of firing. So it sounds like maybe they got themselves some Happy 99 too.
And their shields are up 1 minute, then they're back down. And their shields are up and they're back down. Then their phaser banks are up And then they're back down.
Like a kid flipping a fucking light switch.
Mm-hmm.
When my kids want to get on my nerves, they know that's how to do it. It drives me fucking crazy. Somebody's flipping a light switch up and down.
Troy's like, at another time, this might be funny, but it's not very funny right now.
Riker's getting like real pissed off too. He's like, okay, fine. Just give me some rocks to throw at him. Riker gets on the phone with the sub commander and they're like, why are you still here? And Riker's like, why are you still here? And she says she's going to claim this planet for the Romulan Empire. But this is the DMZ. Nobody's claiming anything here. But she threatens to destroy the D and their away team if Riker doesn't leave. And then the Romulan ship starts to cloak again, but then it decloaks, and it becomes clear that they're suffering the same virus as the Enterprise. So Riker suggests a classic Star Trek approach. Let's postpone our war here and maybe deal with this problem together. And at first, she's suspicious of them. But then another probe is launched from the planet. And because the D has no weapons online, he begs Taris to shoot it, which she does, and it explodes, and the call disconnects.
Not even a thank you.
Nope.
Troy, of course, senses that Taris is frustrated because she's as crippled as the Enterprise is. And then Wesley's like, well, why are they having trouble? They weren't probed, but turns out they kind of hacked into the Yamato and which I didn't know you could do and pull their logs.
Right.
So now they've got to keep the shields up just to protect themselves from what the Romulan ship might do on its own or under Taris' command. But then with the shields up, they can't beam them back.
That probe was a transmitter sending an alien computer program, the same program that is currently aboard the Enterprise trying to rewrite our software in its own image. We have two completely incompatible computer systems trying to interact.
The away team is on the surface and located an Iconian control center, and there's this blue orb in the center of the room inside this, like a clear plexi orb with some black stickers on it. And there's these like diamond-shaped backlit alcoves in one of the walls and a circuit board looking thing on another wall. Very alien looking. Worf is unable to phone home, and there's no life signs on the planet. As for the markings on the control panel, Picard and Data recognize some similarities with 3 languages. Apparently I guess you just study so many languages at the Academy.
I was going to say, like, how Danasian, Dewan, and Ikabar, like, how do you keep all that in a human brain?
Right? Data I get, but Picard, come on.
Yeah.
And he has Data do some processing to see if there's a common root language. Maybe they can translate this writing. On the bridge, Troy is jumpy, and Riker notices, and she says, the tension is just really high right now. Maybe we should give everyone a good distraction, something to focus their attention on. So she goes on the comm and says, "This is where it all leads. The Enterprise. Is it my destiny to save us all? No." Riker's suggestion is not seeing a grand finale. It's get everyone to prepare to evacuate the ship. And while that's probably not likely to happen under the watchful eye of the Romulans, it'll at least give everybody something to do. So he sends Troy off to handle that.
He's just trying to keep her busy, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. On the planet, Data's figured out this root language thing. Picard was right. And he gets another Data moment as he starts listing off a bunch of words he's learned in this language. And Picard has to cut him off.
Just get on with it.
Data's like, you realize this is only a rough translation, right? This isn't going to be exact, but it's a risk they have to take. So he looks down at a panel and he thinks this is the manual override, and he taps some buttons. Then this light zaps out from that orb in the center to one of those diamond alcove things on the wall. What looks like a doorway to a beach appears. And then it transitions to another image, and he's like, okay, that was not the manual override.
Data walks over to it. They think it might be a hologram, but then Data goes and sticks his arm into it, and it's not a hologram. And Picard's like, Data, that was kind of foolish. So he's like, well, if I step through it and investigate, we know if it's a gateway or if it's a hologram. He's like, yeah, but you won't come back, and we may not be able to come and get you. But maybe this is how the Iconians traveled, by crossing light years. It's a Stargate. If you've never watched that show, Stargate has an episode where they find a device that does something like this, where they click a dial and it goes to some other place in another, like a parallel universe or something. So this was funny.
This gateway is on an automatic rotation. It changes destinations every few seconds, and the image changes again to this inhospitable mountainscape. While Picard muses about this gateway, maybe the Iconians didn't die in the bombardment. Maybe some of them escaped through these portals like escape hatches. So this is what Varley was worried about. If the Romulans got their hands on this kind of tech, it would be all over for the Federation.
Yep.
Worf thinks the Iconians use this technology as a weapon too, but Data disagrees. Everything about this room suggests transporter room, not military operation command center. Worf thinks that the probe was hostile, but that's also assigning intent where none was established. It could have just, been trying to communicate with them.
Again, Picard is like, you can't make that assumption. Stop it, Worf.
But then Picard says something that I didn't like. He says, I'm about to say some unscientific bullshit, but go with me here. What if we were wrong about the Iconians being conquerors? Think about it. The victors write the history, so what we know about the Iconians were written by the people who attacked them, not by the Iconians themselves. And so these people are obviously going to write the history to make themselves look good. Hello, America.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe the people who attacked the Iconians did so out of fear because they simply didn't understand them. And that has happened a lot in our own history. But I don't think that's unscientific bullshit at all. I think Picard is making some pretty informed guesses here. Like, they don't have a ton of evidence either way. So entertaining this possibility, I think, is correct. And he doesn't say it here specifically, but again, what if the probe was just a hello message?
Well, it's one hell of a hello. But in unintended consequences, yeah. Yeah. As Picard is talking about this, they're still looking at the gateway, and guess what they see? Their own bridge with people in there. And then it switches to the next image of a city with a skyscraper.
So maybe this will get them a way out of there if they can't use the transporter. Data reports a vast underground power source connected to this console in the center of the room. Triggering the gateway activated a massive surge in power, and Data gets access to this system. And for his efforts, the energy beam shoots out of the orb and knocks him on his ass.
Same thing that happened to Geordi.
And we go to commercial with Data unconscious in Worf's arms.
You do understand, sir, that my interpretation of the symbols will not be exact.
Yes. Let's get on with it.
This would appear to be manual override.
That was not manual override.
How much do you love Data glitching out in this episode?
He always did a great job of being robotic, and when he needed to be, he's having trouble speaking like old Data, and he's saying he's damaged, and he can feel the Iconian software trying to rewrite his own software. So now he's got a virus. He's blind. he can't move.
The portal shifts again, and the bridge of the D is visible, which again changes to the skyscraper. So there's a repeating pattern to this portal rotation. And Picard tells Worf to take Data through the next time the D appears, get him back to Geordi.
So it's about 4 minutes intervals, and that Worf's figured it out. Picard is going to do some stuff. He's going to stay behind. And Worf is like, but you'll die. But he tells Worf to destroy the tricorder. which is everything that they've discovered up until this point. But if they destroy it, that means the Romulans won't get it either.
In fact, they're going to destroy everything here to keep it from falling into Romulans' hands. So Worf hits his tricorder with the heater, and now we just need to launch some of those probes with the doors shut so that the blowback will cause an overload.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that Iconian computer virus has rendered Data blind, so Picard has to talk him through what he's seeing as Data explains the keyboard sequences to override the doors and launch the probes.
And he's like talking in like monosyllables and trying to tell Picard what to tap on the screen. Correct key, blue, amber, red. And then how does he override the doors? He just says blue, blue, blue. And he's like, I hope that's not a stutter.
They have to time this just right because the gateway to the D is coming back around and there won't be a lot of room for error. So Worf's going to get through the gateway with Data while Picard locks the doors and triggers the launch, and hopefully he'll be able to get through the gateway in time. But if he misses, he could end up anywhere. But anywhere is better than exploding here, I guess. So Worf picks up Data, firefighter style, and sure enough, he walks through the gateway right onto the bridge of the D. And he and Riker hop in a turbo lift for engineering to try to get Data taken care of. Geordi's got Data laid out in engineering doing some scans. And that fool says he wishes Maddox were here.
I know. What?
Shut your mouth.
That guy doesn't know it. The problem is that guy didn't know anything about androids. He wanted to take Data apart to learn. So he's the last person you want.
And then the Iconian program seems to take over Data completely. And Geordi does that thing where he closes his eyes with a hand wipe across.
I hate that. All movies back then, when someone dies with their eyes open, they pass their hand over their face and their eyes closed. Like such a cheese.
And then as if they were, in sickbay, Geordi records the time of death. Back in the Iconian control room, Picard enters that sequence and we hear the computer read out something in Iconian language as we see the gateway images continue to rotate.
Sounds like a countdown, I think.
And suddenly Data's alive again. And he's like, where the fuck am I? He seems to be missing some short-term memory, but he eventually starts getting these pieces put back together. I was on Iconia. Now I'm here. The captain was there. Wait, where's the captain? And Geordi figures out that Data's systems basically performed an automatic reboot, shut down, restart, and that wiped the RAM, which cleared the Iconian program. So now we just need to shut down the D, wipe its memory, reinstall Windows and all of our programs or whatever. That ought to work.
Yeah, but then they'd have to shut down the shields, which means they'd be unprotected from the Romulans.
But Riker points out if the Romulans don't kill us, the ship's going to kill us itself. So, what do we got to lose?
Yep.
And he and Geordi race off to get started, and Data's like, wait, guys, wait for me.
Can I help?
Can I help?
In the Iconian control room, the countdown is continuing, and then Picard enters blue, blue, blue. As the Enterprise is booting up again at the same time, the transporter room is up and running. And then O'Brien sees the captain on the system, and he's like, okay, I got him. So then they try to bring him back. Back in the Iconian control room, it's about to blow up. So Picard goes over to the gateway, waiting to see something he recognizes. And then he goes and he steps through when he sees the Romulan ship. And of course, he comes through on the Romulan bridge, and they're like, hey, what the hell are you doing? But then just as he does that, O'Brien, who had Picard in the transporter lock, lost him.
So Romulan bridge crew surrounds Picard with heaters, but the sub-commander sends them back to their stations, and she blames Picard for what's happening on her ship. You must have done something. And through this, we hear a countdown in Romulan now, a countdown to auto-destruct. And she's like, we can't turn it off, but hey, I guess at least you'll die with us. But O'Brien yoinks Picard back just in time. And Picard's like, get us the fuck out of here. She's gonna blow. But Riker belays that order and blows in a call to Taris so Geordi can tell her how to do that hard reset memory dump trick. And I don't know about you, but I feel like this ending was too quick. I feel like she was too quick to trust after all that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, look, they didn't have any other option. And hopefully she thought, well, why would they bother to call us and tell us what to do?
If we're just about to explode
Right.
anyway, yeah.
And I mean, they've already got Picard, so they didn't have to do that.
Anyway, instructions sent and received, but just in case, Riker says to warp away. And Picard's like, Bill, I understand why you tried to take all the away missions from me. Bloody hell, that was fun. Off we go to the next adventure.
Boy, I'm sure glad that's over with.
I'll be glad to be relieved of this cargo.
Me too.
It is done, and perhaps just as well.
Yeah, but you know, I learned something today.
I sincerely hope that this is the last time that I find myself here.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? You see, of all the species, yours cannot abide stagnation. Change is at the heart of what you are. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
I really had to give this episode a lot of afterthought. You know, the happy clappy sort of everybody wins outcome might have been something like when Data interfaces with the ancient alien tech, he's able to stop it from overwriting the other programs and like unlock the secrets of the Iconians
and understand them and know the truth.
Yeah.
Of, are they conquerors or were they victims, etc.? No, we didn't get that.
And then because it's in the DMZ, maybe they'd get the Romulans over for dinner to share this new knowledge with them.
That's never going to happen.
Admittedly, there's not a lot of drama in that idea. Instead, we start from this kind of Cold War place of distrust. We have a legend of this powerful technology, and we sure as hell can't let the Roms get their hands on it, or they'll destroy us. Then the twist is that they write us into a corner with this ransomware virus, and we're forced to blow the whole place up. Not so much to keep it from the Romulans, but to keep it from destroying more ships passing by.
Right. And them.
And then the Star Trek ending is that we learn how to reset the system and you know, we teach that to the Romulans. But there was an open door here where the Federation could have not blown up the station, but just allowed Romulans to keep coming by and getting ransomwared and destroyed one ship at a time. That could have been a great war strategy. But in the end, we do the Star Trek thing, the humanist thing, and reach out and share intel with an adversary.
Yeah. And help them not get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recognizing their shared humanity is not the word. Humanity, thy name is racist, or whatever those Klingons said.
Yeah. I get that, they don't want the technology to fall into the wrong hands. But what if they're not the right hands either? You know what I mean?
Right.
We're only seeing it from our point of view. Like, we're going to keep the technology from them, but who's to say we're not going to use it
Yeah.
to fuck them over? So, and who's to say that the Romulans are aren't thinking the same? Oh, we got to keep this away from the humans.
Yeah.
Because they'll use it against us.
And how you interpret that story is predicated directly on who the victor is.
Exactly.
Right? The victor writes the history. And so they're going to put a positive spin. And so if the Romulans are the victors writing this story, they're, well, at least it destroyed and the humans didn't get the technology or whatever in the end. Whoever the victor is going to write that story. And that's the perspective you're going to have. We were trying to keep it away from the humans, or we were trying to keep it away from the Romulans. Whatever, they both have that same perspective on both sides.
Yeah. Who's to say that someone on the Romulan ship also studied Iconian legend as a child and wanted to go and be curious? We don't always need to assume that they mean ill will, just because their way is just more hostile, and just because the Federation way seems nice doesn't mean that it is that way.
Yeah.
They're colonizers. Everybody's a colonizer.
Mm-hmm. Well, God, it's been a while. Has anybody died?
Yes, finally. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, like over 1,000 people on the Yamato. Jeez.
Damn. Mm-hmm. What happened to the Yamato the last time we saw them? Remember we saw something about... Did they get destroyed in that one too? It was
Searching.
So yeah, it was where Silence has lease with Nagilum. Nagilum created an image of this USS Yamato.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't really them.
Okay, gotcha.
Anybody died in this episode? Yes. Did you write a rhyme about it?
Yeah, I wrote a rhyme about it. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Here it goes.
We're here together to honor our friend and comrade. We will all find time to grieve for her in the days that are ahead. But for now, she has asked that we celebrate her life with this.
Yo, let me hit you with the deets of the USS Yamato. Varley thought he found Iconia. He thought he'd hit the lotto. So he went to the neutral zone despite the danger. But the system malfunction was indeed a game changer. In the first few minutes, the ship went boom. Romulans, here they come, trying to start a feud. Straight out of Romulus, they thought it was a Romulan trick. It was a virus causing problems that they couldn't fix. Uncontrolled, catastrophic matter, antimatter mix. All those people dead for nothing. Man, ain't that a bitch?
I love it. That was amazing.
We can handle all the pleasantries later. Now, let's get down to business.
I am willing to pay handsomely for you.
I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Now, what do you know about my money?
Your money.
The money he stole!
You stole his money?
Those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as Latinum.
You can spend Latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
All right, as always, we want to thank everyone who supports the show. We want a special thank you to our founding admirals. A thanks to Ali, Peter, Sarah, Bruce, the Bear and Cured podcast, and some call him Tim. Thank you all so much for supporting our little show.
Thank you, patrons.
Captain, Starfleet Academy is requesting an update on our estimated arrival.
Finalists, please take your seats.
I must admit you have a very fast mind.
Once I realized it was a trick question, there was only one answer.
Although only one student will be chosen for the Academy, any of you could easily qualify. Candidates, good luck.
You got called to the superintendent's office. It's a story I'd like to hear.
Becca's back now with the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge question for Contagion. Remind us the question.
We see several shots of a building with two rounded towers. This is an actual City Hall building. Which city in the North American continent does this building belong to?
And we incorrectly guessed, I think I said Van Nuys or something.
Yeah, you said Van Nuys. Allie said San Francisco.
Okay. And the correct answer, though, is...
Seattle or something.
It's in Toronto.
Of course it is.
I had an opportunity to show the captain my superior capabilities, and I failed. I can never recover from that.
Of course it is.
Yes. Picard, Data, and Worf are on Iconia. Several scenes keep repeating in the Iconian transportation device. During this cycle, one scene that appears several times is a picture of a building with two rounded towers. This building is the City Hall in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Well, I guess now we have to not only make the trek to California to take pictures in the mountains, we also have to now go to Toronto to take pictures at City Hall.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
We could also go to Vulcan, Alberta.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Road trip. Road trip across Canada.
Hell yeah. Next week, we'll be reviewing Star Trek The Next Generation Season 2, Episode 12, The Royale, investigating the discovery of a piece of metal bearing a United States Air Force insignia. The away team finds itself trapped in the world of the Hotel Royale, a novel come to life. I remember this episode. How much do you remember?
I remember this.
I remember.
You remember? You
Remember Ghostbusters? Oh, I remember.
You know what? I think it's sort of so similar to A Piece of the Action. There's some elements of it that's a piece of the action because someone left a book behind.
Right. Yeah, right.
It's not the exact same, but like there's some elements of it that's the same.
Right. I thought it was kind of like holodeck-ish.
Yeah.
Like the aliens set up this program for the human to, live in a world that's familiar to him. And then, unfortunately, of course, he dies, but the program carries on. And much like a recent episode of Strange New Worlds, which you're probably not caught up on.
Oh, God, you have to see it, Allie. We laughed so hard.
I can't wait.
We should do a watch party. I want to see Allie's face.
We really should.
Yeah. The answer to the riddle, I believe, is finish the story, escape the building.
Yeah, basically.
I think so. Anyway, what's our question for the Royale?
In this episode, the actors who make up the landing party, Riker, Data, and Worf, all have one characteristic in common. Can you tell me what it is? And this is nothing to do with the episode. This is like in their real life.
Okay.
As Jonathan Frakes, Brett Spiner, and Michael Dorn, they all have something. The actor's
not the character.
Yes.
Got
it.
The actor's not the character?
Yep.
Okay. Did they... Well, music? Music? Because...
Oh, that's good. Because Riker plays the bone, Data sings, and Worf was in a band.
Yeah.
He was a bass player or something.
Okay. Right? I'm going to give you a little bit just because I feel bad about this.
I was getting ready to suggest something else. I wasn't going to go on that.
I was just going to say it's not. It's a physical like trait characteristic. It's
they all have a penis.
No, god damn it! I knew you were going to go there.
They have a penis and two balls.
I'd like to know how you know that, Sarah. Okay. Anyway, no, it's a physical trait.
They're
it's a physical
tall. They're certain in height. I don't know. Okay. It's a physical trait.
Yeah, I think you should have left us on our own to our own devices.
Sorry. I felt like you might get a little closer if you knew it wasn't like something they do or a skill they have.
They all have brown hair. I don't fucking know.
They don't all have brown eyes. Because isn't Riker's eyes blue, I think? Or maybe they are brown. I don't know. What color is his eyes?
They all have a mole on their left buttock.
They all hang to the left.
To the left, to the left. Gives Beyonce's words new meaning.
God.
What? Okay, let's figure this out, Sarah. Let's discuss and figure this out.
Okay, all right.
All right. So what are some characteristics of men, physical characteristics that men have other than, the dirty stuff that we keep?
Ooh, they all have hairy chests.
But we've never seen Worf's chest.
No, but that doesn't mean anything. Becca's down the rabbit hole here.
They're over 6 feet, obviously. I think they're over 6 feet.
Okay.
Riker and Worf are incredibly tall.
All right. What are we going with here? I'm going to go with hairy chests.
I'm going to go with height. They're all a certain height, like over 6 feet. I have no idea.
All right. Well, if you want to play along, you know how to do that. Head out to your social media. Share this episode with the hashtag Starfleet Challenge. You can give us a call at 920-550-TREK. Leave us a message or send us a text, and you can go to our website now, humanisttrek.com. Click the button to leave us a message there. There are no fucking excuses. Play.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody doesn't guess this, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Well, no cheating, no Googling, everybody.
That sounds like we didn't get it right either.
And next week, we'll talk about Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 12, The Royale.
Glory to Yohisi.
Make it so, number one.
Humanist Trek is available wherever you replicate your podcasts. Follow us on all the social medias at Humanist Trek. Become a patron at patreon.com/humanisttrek. Open hailing frequencies to podcast@humanisttrek.com and visit our website, humanisttrek.com. Humanist Trek is a production of Sarah Austin Media.